This is the unboxing of the Samsung A36. I'll also share my thoughts on its design and main specs. The A36 was released in March 2025 and it's just a bit more expensive and better than the A26. In terms of design, as you will see later, it looks great. Now let's see what's inside. You don't have to use a knife since you can take the two seals off with your fingers. This shows that we're dealing with a more expensive phone. It's a better unboxing experience. The top of the box glides and inside we find a compartment sitting on top of the phone. We'll get to it later. There is a protective layer on the phone screen. It has a tail that we can use to pull the phone out, which is nice. In the second half of the box, we find the startup guide. Attached to this compartment is the SIM tray tool, and inside there are the usual Samsung papers and an USB-C to USB-C cable. As usual, Samsung didn't include a power brick. Now let's do the most satisfying thing in this unboxing, taking off the protective layer from the screen. The phone, I have to tell you, feels good in the hand since its thickness was greatly reduced. I got the black version, but if you ask me, I would call it the gray version. If we want to see what a truly black back looks like, we'll have to bring in the A26. Still, I have to mention, the A36 black version looks more premium since you can clearly see the new design around the cameras. Samsung improved the build quality on this mid-range phone quite a lot. We see Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the back. The frame is made out of plastic, but it feels great and looks like metal. It gives you the sensation that you're holding a premium phone. An interesting aspect is on the bottom side where they moved the SIM tray. It's not positioned at the top next to the selfie camera like we saw on the A35. If we power up the phone, we see the same selfie camera cutout as on A36 predecessor, which is nice, but I do sense that this display was slightly improved. You'll see now as we get everything out of the way to tell you the main specs of the Samsung A36. When it comes to size, it is slightly longer and wider than the A35, but this doesn't bother me since the thickness has been greatly reduced. At just 7.4mm, it is very thin. This makes it more comfortable to hold and control. Related to the phone's overall size is the display size. The A36 now comes with a 6.7-inch screen, bigger than what we saw on the A35. The bezels were reduced on the newer phone, and the screen-to-body ratio is almost 2% better, which is always a pleasure to see. The A36 comes with a 120Hz Super AMOLED display like we saw on the A35. This is a good screen, no doubt about it, especially since peak brightness now reaches 1200 nits, 200 nits more than the previous model, so you won't be having issues with the A36 outside on a sunny day. The Full HD Plus resolution stayed the same, which is more than enough, and the phone received the always-on display function. An important upgrade is visible when we look at build quality. We get Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front, a plastic frame, and again Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the back. On the A35, we had the same thing on the front, a plastic frame, but normal glass on the back. Another important aspect is the IP67 protection against dust and water. That's a feature the A35 did have, but it's nice to see it again on the A36. Before we get into the software part, it's good to mention that this new phone does not have a microSD card slot for memory expansion in the SIM tray. Instead, in there, it supports 2 nano SIMs. When you look at the operating system, we get a big amount of software updates on this new Samsung phone, 6 years. The A35 only received 4. The A36 also comes with a recent Android 15 and One UI 7, which is great. When it comes to cameras, we have a 12-megapixel selfie camera. On the back, there's a 50-megapixel main camera along with an 8-megapixel ultra-wide and a 5-megapixel macro camera. Their performance is great for a mid-range phone. For video recording, it supports 4K at 30 frames per second with video stabilization on the selfie camera, which is great. On the main one, we also get stabilized 4K footage at 30 frames per second, but only on the main one. If we use the ultra-wide or macro cameras, we're back to full HD. In terms of RAM and storage, the base model comes with 128GB of internal storage and 6GB of RAM. You can also opt for versions with more storage and RAM for a few extra dollars. As for hardware performance, good news. Samsung put the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 processor in the A36. It is 15 to 20% better than what we got on the A35. The GPU is also better by roughly 20%, so there's a nice performance boost here. Finally, the battery remains the same with a 5000 mAh capacity, but the A36 now supports 45 watts fast charging. The previous model, the A35, only got 25 watts. When compared to its predecessor, the only thing missing on the A36 is the microSD card slot for memory expansion. However, when you look at everything else, there are improvements everywhere. In conclusion, this mid-range phone just got better. It's comfortable to handle thanks to the 7.4mm thickness, it has received hardware and software updates, and overall, it's a phone that gets the job done and more. It can be a good device for gaming, for example. If you enjoyed the unboxing and quick specs of the Samsung A36, hit that like button and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.